Now available in paperback and Kindle, vampires stalk the darkness of the Eternal Night. Get your copy of Eternal Night in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com. One of my viewers sent me a link to an article in the Atlanta Black Star which announced that Terry McMillian and Lee Daniels were working together towards developing a television series based on her 1992 novel and the 1995 movie Waiting to Exhale. Now, when I heard this announcement, it really made me think about a previous video that I made talking about how white supremacy was trying to get the gender war restarted in the black community. Now, in that video, I detailed how white supremacy was going out here and having its agents try to stir up strife between black men and black women by having these shills make statements on social media saying things about black men in an effort to get reactions out of black men so that they can get a back and forth going between black men and black women. Well, this announcement that two more of the agents, as I believe, of white supremacy going out here and producing a television series that tries to paint black men in a negative light, it shows me how white supremacy in Hollywood is trying to get the gender war restarted again. Because both your Terry McMillian and your Lee Daniels have not gone out of their way to present positive pictures of black people or present positive pictures, especially of heterosexual black men. And to make a television series about Waiting to Exhale, it just shows me how they're trying to continue promoting this anti-black man narrative and continuing to promote misandry and making an effort to try to restart the anger and bitter feelings in older women and try to program this idea in the minds of young girls and young women to go against black men, because TV shows aren't just programming for a network. No, they are also about programming the minds of young people to believe a certain frame of thinking. And what the mainstream of Hollywood wants to do by making a Waiting to Exhale TV series is start to program the idea in young minds that black men are not good, black men are not responsible, black men are not good leaders, black men are not good fathers, because in the book Waiting to Exhale, the whole story was about these four so-called single, successful, educated, professional, strong, independent black women who said that they could not find love and they could not find a man who was capable of loving them. And throughout the story, it went out of its way to present a whole host of negative pictures of black men, black manhood, and black masculinity, and it wanted to push the narrative that there were no good, educated, professional black men out here who were available to black women. And in the book and the movie, these women went on to make such generalizations and their complaints, such as there are no good black men out here, that most black men only are either lazy, deadbeats, bums, or they are out here, if they are educated and professional, either they're gay or they're looking for white women. And all of these narratives have been proven completely false over the last 2 decades
on social media platforms such as YouTube, because when those professional brothers like myself started to tell their stories, we started to see a completely different picture than the one Terry McMillian was selling in her book back in 1992 and on mainstream media, which is primarily controlled by white supremacists and white feminists who want to push a misandristic anti-black man narrative on their platforms because they don't want you to see a black man as somebody who is a responsible provider, a capable husband, a responsible leader, or somebody who can take control of his community. Because to present that image of responsible black manhood and responsible black masculinity is counter to what white supremacy wants to push on their platforms and refutes the ideas that make white supremacists comfortable, because the whole idea of a black man being at the bottom of the world makes the white supremacists comfortable, and it makes the white supremacist black female supporters comfortable, because as long as the black man is at the bottom of the world, then they all feel secure in their place in the world. And the black women who want to go out here like Terry McMillian and elevate themselves, they need this narrative in place because this is how they make their money. Same thing with your Lee Daniels. This is how they make their money. And they make their money at the expense of the black community, pushing an anti-black man narrative and an anti-black family narrative by promoting the false idea that there are no good, responsible black men like myself in the community, and that the black men like myself are not interested in black women. This propaganda has been pushed in the black community for over 30 years, and it's time for good, responsible black men and black women to push back against this false narrative and this propaganda calling itself a television show, and let people know that we're not going to stand for this propaganda being put in our communities and pushing this anti-black man narrative that has been completely refuted over the last decade. And once you take a critical examination of this dysfunctional story, you start to see that all of the lies that were presented in it are completely false. Because I myself, after watching the movie in 96 and reading the book back in 94, I started to see the holes in this story, and they all pointed a picture not at these so-called no-good black men, but they pointed a finger right back at these four black women. Your Savannah, who was this single successful professional black woman with all of these high standards as related to men, but did not apply them to her own life and made poor choices as related to men, and then made compromises like getting involved with a married man. And then you had your Robin, who was, again, another one of these single professional black women, but she said she could not find a man, but she really did not want a decent man. What she wanted to do was use that as an excuse because she was out here having an affair with Russell and was willing to be his side piece and then have all of these other men on the side, and then wanted to sit there and have these men on the side as she waited for Russell to go out here and divorce his wife. So this Robin, like Savannah, with her high standards, but then wanted to compromise, was out here with all these different guys, but was a side piece, and was talking about how she wanted a good man. Both of them wanted a so-called good man, but could not see how no good they were. And then you had your Bernadine, who was severely mentally ill, and she was out here with this beta male mangina, creating a world around this man. And then when that man left her for a white woman, she wanted to go crazy and burn up his stuff. But it was clear this beta male mangina never wanted a relationship with her. He only saw her as an attachment to elevate his status, and he used her to elevate his status, then abandon her. But she couldn't see that because she was so busy building a world around this man. She couldn't see the reality as related to how dysfunctional this beta male was from day one. Then you had your Gloria out here, and in the movie, she was this big, obese black woman, and she had a husband who was gay. And again, this woman probably couldn't see that this guy was messed up from minute one, but she was trying to change this man into something that he was not. And what people don't understand about the toxic book and the toxic movie, Waiting to Exhale, is that these females created their own problems and they created their own situations because they wanted to fit, they wanted to go out here and look for this good man construct that Madison Avenue and Hollywood created. And then when they saw reality was these kind of guys, they didn't really see that the kind of guys they were attracting were just the reflection of themselves. Because the reason why they could not find a good man is because all of these women were not good themselves, and they did not have good intentions for looking for a partner, and that's why they wound up in the dysfunctional situations they were in. And all of that most people don't know about Waiting to Exhale, but this book and the movie, this was toxic programming designed to be directed at the sisters so they would not learn why they could not find a decent man to take for a husband. It's media designed to give black women an excuse to continue participating in dysfunctional behavior and continuing to make truly poor choices as related to the men they got involved with. And it wanted to justify, oh, these black men are so bad, but it was not the black men who were bad, it was the women and the choices that they made, because they didn't understand the concept of you are what you attract. And if it doesn't matter how much education you have, it doesn't matter how many jobs you have, it doesn't matter, because if you have radiating negative energy, you're going to attract negative people to you, like your cheaters, like your Pookies and Ray Rays, like your bum dudes, like your losers, because the problem is that you don't see that the problem is you. And Terry McMillian's book didn't even address any of those issues in Waiting to Exhale or its sequel, Getting to Happy. However, I addressed those issues in my own book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, because I understand the paradigm of failure, and I understand how toxic programming like this will do damage to another generation of black women, because guys like Lee Daniels, they want to promote self-hatred among black women in programs like he has done previously, like Monsters Ball and Precious and Empire. He wants to promote the worst ideas about black women and program this into black women's minds, that dysfunction is normal, but dysfunction does not have to be the norm for sisters out there. You can break free of this paradigm of failure, and part of breaking free of that paradigm of failure is not watching toxic programming like this when it hits the air. Because toxic programming like this, what it does is it puts an idea in your mind that black men are no good, black men are bad, black men are trifling, and promotes the stereotype that black men are incapable of being good husbands, good fathers, and being men who are capable of being the great men in the community and being men who are marriage material. And this type of programming also doesn't put you to get your mind right so that you can focus on becoming a wife, because these so-called single, successful, well-educated, strong, independent black women, this mindset is core to the paradigm of failure that I talk about in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And it's this mindset that has you out here not insecure and then thinking, I don't need a man, but then you wind up out here trying to deal with males. And then when you're out here with these males, wondering why your relationships continue to fail. And the reason why your relationships continue to fail is because you're not following God and God's natural order on seeking out the Most High and learning how to become a helpmeet in a marriage. And that's also another reason why this type of programming is toxic. It takes you outside the order of God and has you out here chasing this idea of being this single, successful, well-educated black woman, a model that has been a proven failure for black women for the last 50 years. And anyone who imbibes this kind of programming will have the same types of failures that mama had, grandmama have, great-grandmama had, auntie had. And why would you want to be miserable in the company of all of these other black women when you could learn how to become a wife and find peace with a man? And that's why I'm really hard against this type of programming, because I clearly see what white supremacy wants to do by trying to bring back this type of programming once more. It wants to corrupt yet another generation of young black girls' thinking and young black girls' minds, like what was done in my generation with programs and books like The Color Purple and books like Waiting to Exhale, and the miseducation as related to books from Zora Neale Hurston, like Their Eyes Were Watching God. This is all about trying to program the black woman's mind to hate her own man and believe that there are no good black men out there, and make her think that, oh, black men are no good, when in actuality it's a small group of self-haters like Terry McMillian and Lee Daniels pushing this agenda to try to drive a wedge between black men and black women. And again, it's quite interesting that after the election of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House, all of a sudden we start to see a restart of the gender war on social media and a return to this type of misandristic, anti-heterosexual black man media to mainstream media. And this is, again, all about trying to drive a wedge between the black man and the black woman, who were starting to come together and starting to become aware that they needed to come together and work together. And they were all starting to talk about building group economics, building a black family, and working towards tangibles. And what the white supremacist wants to do is send out their agents to go after black solidarity, because white supremacy can't thrive when you have